What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subsets of collecting for retro video game magazines, and that is the Super NES Buyer's Guides. Now, just to give you a little history and tell you how they started and things like that, Electronic Gaming Monthly was just a monthly magazine, and this would come 12 times a year. You would subscribe to them, or you could get them on the newsstands.
Do you play video games? Call and power up with EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Get cool reviews, secret codes, tips, game maps, and previews like American Sammy's Wanderers from Ease. Thrilling adventure and graphics for play on Super NES.
EGM, excellent.
This excellent TV offer is only available by calling 800-8-GAMERS. Get 4 issues of EGM plus one of these guides and this tips book free. Pay by check or pay by credit card now and get a bonus tip sheet free. Call 800-8-GAMERS. That's 800-8-GAMERS.
But one thing that Sensei Publishing, the creators of Electronic Gaming Monthly, they figured out pretty quickly that we need to make more money because this magazine is taking off and they're pretty much buying anything we put out every month. So they had the bright idea of making spin-off magazines that would come bi-monthly, like Mega Play. Now, Mega Play is just a standalone magazine that would come bi-monthly, so you get 6 issues a year for $15. And it's nothing but Sega Genesis content, because they knew players back in the day either had a Genesis or the Super Nintendo. Very few had both, but it didn't matter because their regular magazine, which is one of these, covered both of them and other systems. So they said, we can make money off of people who have a Sega Genesis. And then somebody had the bright idea, because the Super Nintendo was getting ready to come out, and they said, what better way to make more money than to release a Super NES Buyer's Guide? And this was the same thing as Mega Play. It was just a bi-monthly magazine that you could subscribe to, and you get 6 issues a year, and it was nothing but Super Nintendo content. So with that out of the way, I wanted to show you guys all 17 issues of the Super NES Buyer's Guide. These were supposed to come out bi-monthly, but the thing is, they would have problems with getting them out. So every now and then you would wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months for the next issue. But the first issue was the Super NES Buyer's Guide issue 1, Winter 1991. When they brought this out, this was pretty much everything that they talked about inside EGM. So they would just recycle, like all these photos are inside of EGM also. So, I'm sure people were kind of disappointed that they bought this first issue and it got shipped to them, and they're like, wait, this is just the same thing inside Electronic Gaming Monthly. Why would I subscribe to this? But the next issue, it had its own content and brand new reviews and things like that. So the first one was just talking about all the very early release Super Nintendo games at the time. My favorite section is called the Super NES Video Game Buyer's Guide. Now this is just all having to do with the Super Nintendo's launch. Talks about the system, the games, the controllers, and has scores for each of the launch titles. Now there's going to be some in here that you don't recognize, because there was a lot of these games that were supposed to be launch titles, they just weren't. Games like Final Fight and Darius Twin, those weren't launch titles, but they were supposed to be. So I think this is really a cool issue. And yeah, look at that, Super Mario World, straight 9s. Should have been straight 10s, but I'll have to accept that. Anyway, this was a great issue, and this kicked off Super NES Buyer's Guides. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys that real quick. Yeah, so that's the first issue. Now with the 17 issues, like I said, they didn't come out bi-monthly sometimes. Sometimes you'd wait 3 or 4 months to get an issue. So it's kind of sporadic on how they shipped them to you, because at the time, just not every game was on the Super Nintendo, so they had to, wait till they could make enough material to put a magazine out. That's why they recycled content. Here's the first issue, and this ran all the way until 1994, when they figured out that Nintendo Power was pretty much doing this at the time. They were just giving out nothing but Super Nintendo stuff because that was Nintendo's hottest system at the time. So they ended the Super NES Buyer's Guide after 17 issues, but here's all 17. The next one was May 1992. So, I mean, look at that. That's a 5-month wait for the next issue, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's what happens. The next one would be July 1992. with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 on that. Look how cool that looks. Such cool covers on these things, and these things are mint condition. Very hard to find in general, even harder to find in mint condition. Here's September 92 with Street Fighter 2 on the cover. November 92. And then you got February 93 with Dragon's Lair. Another great issue here is the March 93 issue, which shows the first pictures of Mortal Kombat and the super secret Super NES CD-ROM. If you guys remember what that was. Obviously not, because it never came out. But anyway, the next issue is, this is the issue that they switched from showing what month it was. Now it's just volume 3, number 3. And now you got volume 3, number 4, which has Cool Spot on it. Volume 3, number 5, Jurassic Park. Volume 3, number 6, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And one of my favorite covers, Volume 4, number 1, the Mega Man X cover. Look how solid that looks. Such great shape. I'm so grateful to have these. The next one is going to be Volume 4, number 2, which is Fatal Fury 2. One of probably my second favorite cover of all of these is the Volume 4, number 3. That is the Super Metroid cover. So freaking awesome. The next one is Volume 4, number 4, and that's Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers. Volume 4, number 5, the Mortal Kombat 2 front cover. And the last issue, Volume 4, number 6 of the SNES Buyer's Guide, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Now, I kind of just wanted to give a quick overview for you guys, but yeah, that's all 17 of these. And like I said, incredibly hard to find, even harder to find in mint condition. So I'm glad that I have these in the collection. If you guys want an in-depth look at some of these, just let me know in the comment section. I know that these things are tough to find and not many people have them. So if you guys would like to see some more in depth, let me know and I'll do a video on it. And like I said, a regular issue of EGM was way thicker than these things. These things averaged like 40 to 60 pages, if that. So there wasn't a lot of content every 2 months for the Super Nintendo. But these things were pretty cool. They would show reviews, and like I said, they would show upcoming games, and they would pretty much just show everything that was going on at the time for the Super Nintendo. I love these things, and I appreciate you guys watching. So until next time, keep on reminiscing, y'all. What's going on, y'all? I just want to take a short moment to talk about my buddy Sean. He sells vintage G.I. Joe and other vintage figures at the conventions around here, and I think you should get a hold of him if you're looking to buy some figures. All 100% complete, all authentic weapons, file cards, and figures. No reproduction stuff here. He's super affordable, insane quality, and I've been buying from him for years now, and I mean, I've gotten almost all my figures from him. So if you guys want to get a hold of him, he doesn't have any social media, reach out to me and I can get you in touch with him, because these things are only getting more and more expensive. So if you're wanting to build your awesome G.I. Joe collection, make sure you hit me up and I'll get you in touch. Take it easy, y'all.